Sam and Shashi, thank you. It is wonderful to have you. Since we are at this event where we have partners and supporters, believers in Republic and in news, let me throw it open with a question to you. How do we reimagine the news? You know, news also needs to go through a process of reimagination every few years. And changes happen quicker in today's day and age than they did earlier. Towards a larger purpose of nation first, Sam, how do we reimagine the news in this country? Sam.
So, Arnab, this question, frankly, has crossed my mind quite often. And especially when I see something that you don't like, which is ratings. And I think in my mind, it's more reinforced after hearing what all you have achieved since 2017. So first, my hearty congratulations. I know it's not very easy in today's India, as recently as 2017, to move from a newsroom to an entrepreneur. So I think it was indeed a very, very bold move. And I think bold moves always pay off. And I think I was gratified to see that. But, you know, the thought does strike me that you put in so much effort, so much effort into bringing that news to us, to, 1.4 billion people. And why is it that so few of us actually watch it? So, on the other hand, say somebody puts together a young girl, a not so young girl, a father, and there's something going on in that little room, and it hits the high spot. 5% of the country sometimes watch it. So, I think, Arnab, as you put in, so much energy and so much time and so much money into whatever you're doing, I think you must also spare a thought on how you can get more people to watch news. Even from your advertiser profile, more advertisers who are focused on men will be on your channel as compared to the other advertisers who are focused on women. So my suggestion would be, as of course you have grandiose plans to go global,
yes,
I think please also think that you have 1.4 billion people right here.
True.
The rest of the world has only maybe 5 billion people.
True.
Whereas you have captive 1.4 billion people. So why don't, I think at 10-20% more effort, you can reach more of these people here.
Yeah.
I don't have the answers, but I'm leaving this as a thought for you to sort of work on.
Yeah. Sam, I'm getting concerned that you don't find me entertaining enough. Little bit, maybe I start. Maybe
I said women and younger.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. I actually called Madhavan, the actor, and Shankar Mahadevan. So I don't know if you noticed now. I told Shankar I told Shankar and Madhavan, who are my friends, I said, will you do the voiceover for my show? Kamal Hassan had done the voiceover for the show earlier. And now I got Madhavan. And then Shankar called me and he said, I'll also do an alap. So now if you see the start of my debate, there's a vocal of Shankar Mahadevan. I think I should start with a little bit of a dance every night to increase my ratings. But I take your point very seriously. I take it very seriously, and maybe I'm just being a little self-critical. Is there too much of politics in the news? I mean, because when I sense public response, there's something called a hardcore news viewer who will watch endless amount of politics. And then there is a socially engaged viewer who likes to see public campaigns that resonate with them. We gave where they identify with, where you become the voice of the voiceless. But is news only about the ratings or also a social purpose? How do you guys see it, Shashi?
So, firstly, hearty congratulations. What you achieved in 7 years, many networks have not been around for so long. I remember coming into your office, the new office which you created, and that plaque which you didn't speak about on your board, which motivates you. You told me the story of how you saw that. And if I may say so, I knew you do well, but I never knew you do so well. And that really is inspiration. And maybe sometime this audience or elsewhere, you must put that plaque out. And you must tell me the story of how the president that time, Arnab Goswami, told you what he told you about. So I think that's a fabulous story. I now answer, and I have to respond to what Mr. Balsara said. I have a very high regard and affection for him. But there is a job which I do, which is probably sometimes they call my night job, sometimes they call my day job. But that I probably have more visibility to what he says. And I think the future is there. So, the point you made, so I think, firstly, finally it's all commerce. You can't do something which is not funded. And rightly or wrongly, ratings play a critical role in funding. While there are a lot of clients or a lot of advertisers who buy on the basis of what content they see. But suffice to say, a sizable amount of ratings is sizable amount of advertising is bought on news, on ratings. Unfortunately, unlike other genres, news is completely advertising driven. There's hardly any money which comes in from subscription, unlike the GECs where 20-30% comes. So there's a very strong correlation. And I think we are somewhat guilty for this perception Mr. Balsara has, that, we have, under the guise of lowest common denominator on ratings, have created what we have created, the rating mechanism. I'm happy to say in the next 6-7 months, if some of our experiments succeed, you will see a few changes happening. So first is a simple level. Today there is, we don't give ratings out by, so to speak, classifications. So, we do some on terms of free versus pay, but we don't put the ratings out, that it's not weighted, so you don't get an accurate picture. If we are lucky, and I said lucky because we have the capabilities, the stakeholder management, which takes time. If we are lucky, maybe in 3 to 6 months' time, we'll start putting rating out by pay and free separately. So then you can segment your audience. And another 3 months' time, we'll break pay up into DTH versus cable homes. And when I say this, I've seen some data, there's a remarkable difference. So a lot of your channels, which may appear very, very niche and sold on social causes, but actually may deliver to those. Then we are also creating a premium panel. We are already in the place. Premium panel is, 5,000 homes, which are going to install in premium homes. To Mr. Balsara's point, is single TV homes. And, and I'm sure that it will break the myth of that only men watch news. Yeah. So I'm reasonably sure that will happen again.
Single TV homes.
Single TV homes you may find in premium homes. It's because, and Mr. Balsara is right, because he sees data currently the way it is. But you may find it different. That's the next point. The third thing is, BARC has been running a digital panel for a long time.
Yes.
It's a 12,000 panel. It's a common panel. So it's a TV plus digital panel. So basically in that home, you watch what the viewer is watching on a smartphone, what he's watching on television. So you get, now again, I have some visibility to those pilots. Again, news scores very well. The problem with news is, compared to GCs, it's not about reach. You'll be surprised by the reach which is there for news. It's phenomenal.
Surprised by the?
Reach for news. It's phenomenal.
Yes.
It's far higher than anything else which is there.
Yes, I'm aware.
And I'm talking about the genre.
Yes.
And across medium.
Yeah.
The problem is the time spent, correct? But Hemant is my client. Hemant is the advertiser. He is watching at that prime time. So if 9 o'clock, when 3-5 minutes headline is coming, you've caught him, correct? So my submission is that there is a lot of scope. If we are successful, and if the stakeholders allow, and I keep saying that, then I think this genre has a lot to look forward to in the next 6 months to 1 year, where tremendous amount of segmentation.
Wonderful.
And I'm happy to see what I saw today.
Yes.
The huge bouquet which you have and
Yes.
which you're launching, they're going to be perfectly timed. I'm not saying to please you.
Okay.
I genuinely believe there's potential for all these sectors. And then to answer your question, whether it's ratings, whether it's other costs, but you have enough stories to tell.
Yes.
So I think the future looks robust.
Well, this is very encouraging because what you're basically saying is that the news industry has a lot to look forward to in terms of measurement, which then will impact the kind of business that will generate. So it's a
And allow segmentation. You know,
and-
what
and
you've
allow
already done
segregation.
intuitively, I mean,
Yeah.
very proud of what you're doing, but intuitively what you have done will give you business case for doing that.
Can I ask a slightly naive question next to both of you? And it's not a complaint, Sam, but I have to put it before you. Everywhere I go, people say, they meet me at an airport, they meet me at a train station or in my office, they tell me what they would like to see on TV. So I ask them, what would you like to see on news? Because the first thing is they'll criticize very quickly. Oh, you do debates and then you repeat the news and stuff like that. See, I take it on the chin because naturally, I take it differently. I say that if they wouldn't be watching, they wouldn't be criticizing. This is part of the job. So it's fine. I actually take it as a compliment. But I want to be treated differently from Big Boss. I am not Big Boss. I am not KBC. I'm not Saas Bahu serial. I have fought hard. When I launched the Hindi channel, I can tell you, I took such a bet, Sam, that if the Hindi channel would not have been successful, Republic as a company would have folded up. And still I said that in Hindi, I will not do Saas Bahu, I will not do Saap Sidi, I will not do Duniya Khatam Hone Wali Hai, and I don't care if this has been the formula for 10 years. Somewhere it clicked. Today, apart from ABP News, which does one Saas Bahu show at 3:30, no Hindi channel does Saas Bahu shows. And I used to carry on my ticker, news के लिए Republic भारत देखिए और सास बहू और साजिश के लिए ABP देखिए, आज तक देखिए. Embarrassed them so much, they stopped doing it. But I ask people, what do you want in the news? They say 3 or 4 things broadly. They say we want to see high quality production, one. Then they say we want to do deep journalism. Deep journalism. What is deep journalism? Where to follow a story, you send a lot of reporters, put together a story, do detailed journalism. Then they say we want to see documentary style stuff. That is done. Then they say that we want presence in the spot whenever it happens. Now, these are great demands. Content creation in news requires a hell of a lot of money. It's not a serial that you can record 6 episodes in one shift. But when it comes to revenue for news, we are treated like a commodity. It's not a complaint, but is it possible that the stakeholders of news say that, okay, we won't put you in the same category as all because we too are stakeholders in the system? I'm not saying a hell of a lot of difference, but it's also a social purpose to it, isn't it? So this was my thought. How do we do, simple question, how do we do great journalism if we don't have the financial muscle or support for it? Sam.
So, Arnab, I'd like to answer your question a little differently. You know, the honest truth is, every father thinks his daughter is the most beautiful and she should be treated differently. Now, that is the truth. Having said that, I feel news has one serious advantage which you can take advantage of. You know, if I look around your strong supporters in this room and on that panel that I saw, I think news channel has helped create businesses where none existed. And why don't you use your channel itself
Sir.
to have small case studies, because the channel is watched more by advertisers, maybe who are a
Sir.
little older,
Sir.
and they are the businesses of today and tomorrow.
True.
And in a country like India,
Sir.
we have so much of entrepreneurial talent that is sort of bursting at the sides, and all of them are looking for an opportunity of how they could spend in the beginning, maybe as little as 2-3 crores, and get some kind of a presence.
True.
And
True.
I think
Sir.
news channels have done over the last 10 years a very good job
Sir.
of helping such businesses scale up and become bigger. So I think
Okay.
having a kind of a program or little snippets on how Republic has built businesses would also, it would then take the focus away
Yeah.
from ratings.
Yeah.
See, a very mature, large advertiser unfortunately has to look at rating.
Yeah.
But a business, when it's small and
Yeah.
it wants to take the first baby step,
Yeah.
then ratings don't matter.
No, yes, super.
And I think there are, according to me, at least right now today in India, 1,000 potential advertisers who are wondering, if I have the money to be on Republic, tomorrow I will also be like Luminous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you have to tap them with these case studies.
Sir.
That would be my suggestion.
Sir, I think it's brilliant because there was a company called Beto we did tied up with. And we created so much buzz around the brand, we started believing in it. And the entrepreneurs were so into what they were doing. They were doing sort of blood sugar and other electronic measurement of health devices. They got so much into it, it actually helped build their valuation many 10 or 15 fold in the course of that association.
You're right.
No, but I'll keep pitching to you, Sam, that, otherwise there's no option. Otherwise, Sam, if it continues like this, you will soon find me on Big Boss. And then there are no complaints. But can I put that question to you, Shashi? How does the business community strengthen the news gathering effort in this country?
So it's a tough business because there's so much cost on the ground. Again, I was impressed when you said for Republic Bharat, you have 300, 400 people on the ground there, which is fabulous. I only think, the solution is what I said. So what Sam said is a very interesting idea. There are many advertisers here who have case studies. I know Hemant, and I'm only saying because that's the plan I do. So I know that there's hardly, he doesn't look at ratings alone. But by and large, the large brands, what Sam called mature, I'll say they're immature because they go only by mechanics of ratings, So that's a tough one to crack. I said there's hope in the way what we offer to you. There's going to be huge segmentation. I don't know if you remember, many years back I walked up to you when you were studying in Bombay and I said there's a response mechanism you have to build in. What he's saying, I'm building on that, I think there's huge potential. It's how do you complete the loop by getting some response mechanisms for the brands, which is, I think, the point he's alluding to. That is a very good starting point. Rest, if we have a way, if the stakeholders align, we will facilitate in 6 to 8 months' time. It'll be a far more rosy situation than it is today.
I sort of, gone into this phase where I believe that we can change the country before 2030. And I've seen the power. See, this is a greenfield venture of Republic. And today we employ 2,000 people. I'm personally committed to building at least 10 media startups from this new complex. So I may come to you with proposals, not just from mine, but from some of our incubees in the future. They will need even more support than Republic. Now tell me lastly, Sam and Shashi, is it a mad idea to do global news from India? Or is it a possible idea?
Well, I think, yeah.
A small thing before that. During Ukraine, this is a passion business, Shashi. During Ukraine, we sent 3 people to Ukraine. Then we sent 5. Then the team from Republic Hindi said, we want to send 3. Then were 8. Then the Republic Bangla team said, we want to go. So then there were 11. At some point, with 17 people in Ukraine, one under arrest in Belarus for trying to do a sting operation on Belarus. They don't get beyond this techniques there also. And one who was unable to cross the border. Republic Media Network had the biggest global media contingent between Belarus and Ukraine. Nobody had that contingent. We just couldn't get onto the Russian side. And there was no advertising for it. We were just driven by the story. And do you know, Sam, the tragedy in Bucha where children were killed and mass buried? Do you remember that outside Kiev, the Bucha? That story came to global headlines only because of Republic. We were the first global media crew to be in Bucha. Zelensky was so moved by it, he made his ambassador call me, and I received a call saying that the president's office wants to give you an interview. When can you come to Kiev? And I asked them why. They said, we know that you're the only global crew in Bucha. I couldn't go to Kiev, but we were the first network outside the US to get an interview with Zelensky in the height of the crisis. See, now I really want to do this, Sam. Not to like push an India story, but because I think there needs to be a balance of perspective in the world. In your view, how can we do it? Let me not even ask you whether it's possible.
No,
how can we do it, Sam and Shashi? How can we do it? Make it happen, Sam.
So, unfortunately, and you may not like this, after all, you're also a commercial enterprise. So, whilst it's fine to be driven by passion, and I think you may want to send 35 people there, why 17? I think you have to temper your passion also a little bit. Having said that, to give you another idea, I think, for example, your brand focus team could go to one advertiser or two advertisers and say, look, all my reportage, not globally, on this particular war will be brought to viewers by you.
True.
So you're building an association of the brand with that, with this, war, which has some kind of a higher moral or social kind of delivery.
Sure.
So, I think your brand focus unit could step in here to selectively offer such opportunities to brands.
Sure.
And do that consistently over a period of time so that the brand also benefits from that equity or
the viewership associated with the event.
Associated with it.
But I think it's a good idea. Shashi, what do you think?
I think going global is a fabulous idea. I think there's a large cachet of global Indians, whether they're NRIs sitting in New York and UK, wherever they are, wherever we go, or they're sitting in Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. There are global Indians everywhere. I think that's a great idea. India's time has come. As a country, we are doing well. The Prime Minister is rated very high. So anyone who exploits this thing just now, you're in news everywhere. So not only Indians, but also people in the fringe talk about it. I mean, as you know, I've just come back from a global leading, not in South Asia. I've come back from a global leadership meeting in Toronto, and just this morning I've landed, and everyone talks about India. The story is India, So how much credit to me for what, or my teams, what they do, but how much to the country and the way it's being perceived. So there couldn't be a better time than that. The limited point Sam is making of ratings, that hopefully will fix with the premium panel coming into place. So I think it's a perfect time. Also, there's not too much competition. There was one brand which did very well. Unfortunately, and I feel bad for them, they're struggling for their own internal reasons rather than the quality of the product or the quality of the brand or whatever. So I think it's a fabulous time. I'm not saying it to please you on stage, but I genuinely believe it's a great opportunity for multiple reasons.
Well, I've learned a lot, and I'm going to take notes of all that we discussed and come back to you. But I think the audience has really enjoyed having two completely original thinkers on the stage with me today. So more than a gesture of support for your being here today. So thank you so much, Sam. Thank you so much, Shashi. I'm deeply, deeply obliged that you made it here today.